Yes, guys, it has happened. Real Madrid is eliminated from the Champions League by Arsenal. A team that has never won the Champions League, Arsenal, has just eliminated a team that has the most Champions League of any club, 15 UCLs. So much aura in the Champions League. Real Madrid has been knocked out by Arsenal with an aggregate of 5-1 throughout the both legs. 3-0 in the first leg at the Emirates and 2-1 at the second leg at the Santiago Bernabeu, where people thought that Real Madrid is going to make a comeback. They didn't. And to be honest, I also expected that there might be a comeback because, listen, this is Champions League Real Madrid. No matter how they perform in the league and the domestic cups, it doesn't matter. In the Champions League, this is a completely different team. And that is true. That's true. We've seen Real Madrid, which was very sloppy in the recent years, win the UCL. But this Real Madrid was way more sloppier than we thought. Like, this was the Real Madrid where people thought that this team, first of all, is going to make the most goals in Europe. Mbappe, Vinicius, Rodrigo, Bellingham, Endrick, Arda Güler. These were the Galacticos. And this team was known for that. But unfortunately, the project failed. Project Mbappe has failed. And Real Madrid actually could go trophyless this season. Because in the La Liga title race, Barcelona, we are on top. Copa del Rey final, we're going to beat them. I don't know why we wouldn't beat Real Madrid in the final. We've already been one final this season in Saudi Arabia, of the Spanish Super Cup final. And this is the next final of the El Clasico that we're going to beat them again. And the Champions League, they're out. So there's literally no trophy for them to compete with. Maybe the final if they win, but I don't think that they're going to win. They're awful. They're playing awful football. And I'm going to come to that in this video. But the thing is, guys, Arsenal's win yesterday versus Real Madrid was not only a win, it was a streak. It's a streak that Arsenal have never lost a game versus Real Madrid. And the fun fact is that they won both legs. Both. Okay? They won both legs, bro. That's insane. Winning at the Santiago Bernabeu is very hard. But they did it. So guys, in this video, we're going to look at the stats and the events of this match. So yeah, make sure that you watch it till the end. And now let's get started. Now guys, starting with the stats, I actually want to show you the first half stats only, first of all. And here you can see that there was literally no competition at all. Real Madrid keeping in possession of 67 and Arsenal of 33. But in that 33 possession, Arsenal created 4 shots and 3 on target. 4 shots and 3 on target. And Real Madrid having 6 shots, 0 on target. These are the Galacticos we're looking at, by the way. Mbappe, Vini, and Rodrigo. 0 shots on target. 0. They were playing football, which I'll come into when I talk about the events that happened in the game. But these are the stats that I'm showing you, and they were awful for Real Madrid. They were good, but they were awful. 0 shots on target. But guys, if we look at the overall stats of the whole game, Real Madrid had the better possession, 66. Arsenal having 34. 18 shots on target from Real Madrid. And by the way, from those 18 shots, only 3 on target. That's how awful they were yesterday. They were just shooting without accuracy and stuff. Arsenal, on the other hand, 11 shots, 6 on target. And from those six shots, 2 went in. And they won the game. So those were the stats. Now let's look at the events now. So guys, when it comes to the events, the whole match was secured by Real Madrid. They were playing football. At the same time, Arsenal were also playing football when they got possession. But Real Madrid were going for it since minute 1. And they were trying their best, but Arsenal is so good at defensively. They're so good defensively that Real Madrid didn't stand a chance. They did not. Even in the first leg, in the second leg, they did not stand a chance because of the defensive work by Arsenal. Congratulations to Arsenal for their defensive work. But in the 11th minute, there was a corner. Okay, there was a free kick or a corner taken. I just watched the game, but I forgot. But there was a set piece taken. And I think Mikel Merino was running towards the goal. I think it was a corner, yeah. He was running towards the goal, and Raul Asensio was like pulling him in, and he brought him down to the ground. And after this, football was like resumed. But after some time, VAR like called to the referee that there's a foul committed inside the box, and Arsenal get a penalty. And Odegaard was about to take it. He gave it to Saka, and Saka tried to be a hero at this point, which was completely unnecessary. It was 4-0 at that point. It was 4-0. It was definitely 4-0. But because of his heroic stuff that he's tried to do versus Courtois, he tried to do a Panenka, which landed exactly in the hands of Courtois, and he missed the penalty. And this was kind of a downfall trying to come at Arsenal, because after this, Real Madrid were starting to play football again, trying to attack, and yeah. And then after some time, there was a call for Real Madrid's penalty. And to be honest, guys, I think that this was a penalty. Like, Real Madrid did deserve to get that penalty, because it was the same kind of situation that was in Arsenal's side, where Mikel Merino was literally pulled down to the ground. The same thing happened to Arsenal. And I don't know how they did this, but they actually said that it was offside. Mbappe was offside in that position, because he was brought down to the ground by Declan Rice. And by the way, Declan Rice was playing football like him and Jude Bellingham were having like a huge clash of clans inside the pitch. Like, he was balling, Declan Rice, yesterday. It was on fire. And I think he got the man of the match yesterday versus Real Madrid. But coming to the VAR situation right there, I think that was a penalty. I don't know how they did that. Like, they said that Mbappe was offside. He was onside, or maybe it was the player that was just, near Mbappe who was offside. But I don't think that matters, to be honest. I think that was a penalty. But anyways, the decision was overturned and the penalty was not given to Real Madrid. Because if that penalty was given, Real Madrid could have a big chance of qualifying and knocking out Arsenal of the Champions League. Now, guys, the first half ended with the stats that I just showed you previously. But then in the second half, guys, Alaba, Rodrigo, and Vasquez came out, and Ceballos, Fran Garcia, and Endrick comes in. Okay? And then in the 65th minute, Saka scores with a beautiful ball from Mourinho from the back. And he just kept running. It was kind of offside, but he was not offside. Okay? It seems like it was offside, but he was not. A beautiful control from Arsenal, and the attacker of Arsenal just has quality, bro. In this game, it had quality. But Real Madrid were also trying. It's not that they were not trying. They were trying, but, the defensive work from Arsenal was just incredible. But Saka scored 1-1 with a beautiful chip over Courtois. The same thing that he was trying to do in the penalty previously. He did the same thing, but this time it resulted to a goal. So yeah, 1-0 Arsenal at the Bernabeu. But guys, just after 2 minutes, Saliba forgot to look at his shoulder, that Vinicius is right there, and then Vinicius just intercepts Saliba and scores. And the thing is that David Raya was not also on goal. He was a little bit, further away because the damage was done. Vinicius was about to fall down, but he scored the goal eventually, and it was 1-1. And at this point, the whole Santiago Bernabeu started to, sing their song, Hala Madrid, and it was starting to, but still, even though they did that, there was still a 3-goal advantage for Arsenal. So it was not that bad. But to be honest, if we look at this goal, it was a fluke goal, guys. It was a fluke goal. Even though they scored, it could have been 5-0, to be honest, in the aggregate. And yesterday, it could have been 2-0. But this was a fluke goal. This was a fluke goal. This was not a goal, guys. It's just a fluke. But still, they celebrated it, and yeah. But after this, guys, there's something that I started to see in Real Madrid's team that is, I don't understand what was happening. I was seeing the positions of the players. Like Rudiger is playing at the back, Um, this player is playing like you know what I'm talking about, the positioning of the players. Well, there was actually some moments when I see 7 to 8 Real Madrid players all going forward, all going forward. Like I was kind of confused because I was seeing Rudiger playing as a striker yesterday. And I said that what the heck am I looking at? Like Rudiger, was that a tactic or was he himself going as a striker and trying to score a goal? I think it was the other way around. He was trying to score a goal, but at this point, guys, it was like Real Madrid didn't have a chance. So they just went on. Everyone going forward. Like I'm sure that even you guys watched it, that there are like 7 to 8 Real Madrid players all going forward. At this point, it was like completely like destruction in the positional, play of Real Madrid. Like it was like you're seeing Rudiger and he's not coming back. He's not coming back. He's just staying there. He may be coming to the midfield and then going back up there. It was like I don't understand. But then, guys, in the 93rd minute, Martinelli scores the winner for Arsenal, and the game was sealed. The 5-1 aggregate was sealed, and Arsenal eliminated Real Madrid from the Champions League. But, guys, one thing is for sure, that Project Mbappe has failed. And who could have thought that Arsenal will knock out Real Madrid from the Champions League? I still don't believe this, that Arsenal have just knocked out Real Madrid. Arsenal. And the thing is that in this match, Real Madrid were going for it from the first minute. But Arsenal just had, that defensive work which I talked about earlier that saved them from being knocked out. Because there could have been a comeback yesterday. Especially if that penalty which I talked about, which I think that it was a penalty, if that was given, then it would be over for Arsenal. Because then eventually Real Madrid would, erupt, and then they could have scored another goal in the first half, and then another goal in the second half, and then you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, anyways, guys, Arsenal have knocked out Real Madrid from the Champions League. So congratulations, Arsenal. That's it for today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next video.